Well, it won't be long until Joe Biden announces whether or not he will run for the 2024 presidential election. He has indicated that he has every intention of doing so, but with low polling numbers and the fact that he's 80 years old, the oldest sitting president in history, has caused many to doubt. But even with that, there seems to be no strong, suitable frontrunner for who could step up to the plate. Potential runners may include Transport Secretary Pete Buttigieg, California Governor Gavin Newsom, Colorado Governor Jared Polis, perhaps even Bernie Sanders will take a swing at it again. But there's also another candidate who could be looking for a promotion. Vice President Kamala Harris, who made history when she became the first woman, first African American and first Asian American to ever be elected as VP. But in the last few years, VP Harris hasn't exactly wowed voters. Her approval rating has been lingering in the 30 percentile for the last year, with a recent 538 poll seeing her disapproval at 52.5% and her approval at 39%. That's quite a drop in numbers from her peak of 55.2% in April 2021. Regardless of this, if Joe Biden does decide to step down as leader, does the vice president have what it takes to be the president? According to the New York Times, she doesn't have the backing of her own party. The article reads, "But the painful reality for Ms. Harris is that in private conversations over the last few months, dozens of Democrats in the White House, on Capitol Hill, and around the nation, including some who helped put her on the party's 2020 ticket, said she had not risen to the challenge of proving herself as a future leader of the party, much less the country." Even some Democrats, whom her own advisors referred reporters to for supportive quotes, confided privately they had lost hope in her. These doubts, according to the New York Times, have created a quiet panic for some Democrats who question what would happen if President Biden did decide against a second term. Most Democrats interviewed, who insisted on anonymity to avoid alienating the White House, said flatly that they did not think Ms. Harris could win the presidency in 2024. Some said the party's biggest challenge would be finding a way to sideline her without inflaming key Democratic constituencies that would take offence. One Democrat in particular is named in the New York Times article as someone who does doubt the ability of Kamala Harris. Members of Congress, Democratic strategists, and other major party figures all said she had not made herself into a formidable leader. Two Democrats record private conversations in which former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton lamented that Ms. Harris could not win because she does not have the political instincts to clear a primary field. While there was no denial this private conversation happened, a spokesman for the former presidential candidate said that she was very supportive of VP Harris and that they had a strong bond. A big disappointment has been Kamala Harris's handling of the US-Mexico border. Biden named his VP the border czar in March 2021, less than 2 months after being sworn in as president. This means that she was tasked with leading the administration's efforts in tackling the crisis at the border. Over time, the situation has worsened, with a record amount of legal immigrants crossing into the US. While all of this has gone on, Kamala Harris has only physically visited the border once, when she went to El Paso in June 2021. Her boss, Joe Biden, hasn't been much better in visiting either. Critics would say that the Biden administration can't fully comprehend the severity of the crisis until there is enough time spent at the border. Kamala Harris spoke on the border today, saying the White House was working on creating a safer way to process people into the country.
As we advance our efforts to address the root causes of migration, our administration is simultaneously working to ensure a safe, orderly, and humane processing system at the border. We are concerned that what we have been seeing coming across includes deadly and illicit fentanyl trafficking. It has fueled the opioid crisis and is a leading cause of death among the 18 through 42-year-old population in the United States.